Donald Trump has decided to cancel the speech he was going to give on the 1-year anniversary of the January 6th riots. Now, he has released a statement about it saying, quote, "In light of the total bias and dishonesty of the January 6th unselect committee of Democrats, 2 failed Republicans and the fake news media, I am canceling the January 6th press conference at Mar-a-Lago on Thursday, and instead we'll discuss many of those important topics at some rally at some other time." It will be a big crowd because of course he cares so much about how big his crowds will be. So I think this was a good move. We're not certain what has influenced this decision. The story just broke, but there is some speculation that there are Republican lawmakers who are concerned about him, holding a press conference, especially as a prayer service was going to be held for during that January 6th 1-year anniversary. And Republicans probably felt, not all of them, but some of them probably felt that it would hurt their chances in an election year, and maybe Trump should kind of stay out of the news on that day. But it's Trump, he's a wild card. Who knows how this story will develop or devolve moving forward?
Yeah, well, there's one thing for sure. Whatever Donald Trump does is because he thinks it's to his benefit. So he might have canceled it because he's worried about legal concerns, but Democrats are in charge. What legal concerns? Don't worry, they won't lay a glove on you, okay? Every once in a while I see people going on MSNBC and talking about, oh my God, prosecutors are gonna get Donald Trump. Please, spare us, just spare us, okay? You people are pathetic. Yeah. You're never gonna hold anyone in power accountable, even a fascist like Donald Trump. Okay, so the second, but I think the more likely reason he's canceling is not that many people are showing up to these events.
Yeah, that's a great point. I wanted to mention that, especially because he felt the need to include something about how big the crowd's gonna be.
Oh, totally. That's like when he was challenged on the size of his hands in one of the Republican presidential debates. And he immediately went to his,
"There's no problem, believe me, there's no problem."
Yeah, about his genitalia.
People are saying.
Like, you don't have to say it about your hands, we can all see your hands, right? He's like, "Down there, believe me, believe me." What if a guy comes into a room and starts screaming about how you don't have to worry about his genitalia, it's plenty big enough? Trust me, it's not, okay? So in this case, when he's like, "Oh, I could get a big crowd, I could get a big crowd, I just don't want to." Oh, okay, so you couldn't sell it out. Not enough people were coming. We get it, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, his nationwide tour with Bill O'Reilly did not go as planned. There were many empty seats during that tour. And we talked about that as it was happening and some of the reasons for why it was happening. But look, ultimately, this is a small silver lining in a news cycle that's just riddled with terrible news. I'm happy that he's canceling it. He can't help himself. He's still, perpetuating these lies about how the election was stolen from him. It continues to divide the country in incredibly dangerous ways. You see a huge portion of American voters who genuinely believe that the election was stolen from him, even though judges that he himself had appointed had dismissed his claims of voter fraud. It's terrifying because it is ripping the country apart. And on that specific day, I personally was concerned that he was gonna incite even more violence, and we could do without that.
Yeah, well, so were Ivanka and Donald Jr. and almost every Republican that was in the building. They were all literally worried to death about how Trump was gonna incite more violence and get people killed, including his own vice president, because they were chanting "Hang Mike Pence." Yeah. And now, of course, they're like, "Oh no, dude, Patriots." Bunch of new polls out. One of them has Republicans saying, 56% of Republicans saying that what happened on January 6th was done because of patriots. So like breaking into the Capitol, causing violence and looking to execute the vice president is apparently what patriots would do. So all that Trump and the rest of the Republicans had to do was simply just say, yes, killing democracy is the patriotic, democratic thing to do. And they're like, yes, immediately, sir. We will now listen to you, it is patriotic. Hilarious wrinkle to that poll, 41% of Republicans said it was probably left-wing protesters.
No, but look, I think that it's indicative of what conservative media has done in response to the January 6th riots, right? Because we keep talking about how people like Tucker Carlson can't get their story straight. But what they do is they offer all these different options to Republican voters, and then they get to pick and choose which narrative they want to go with. So even among Trump's base, there is disagreement and there are contradictions in regard to what happened on January 6th and who was behind it. Some agree that it was Trump supporters and what they did was patriotic, while others argue that it was Antifa or that it was the FBI who egged them on or some sort of hoax. I mean, there are so many different narratives coming from Trump supporters, and that's not organic. It's not like they came up with it themselves. They're being essentially primed by people like Tucker Carlson, OAN, and other right-wing news organizations that are just giving them like a buffet of options to choose from.
So mainstream media does a great job of hoodwinking neoliberals and people that are in the educated classes, et cetera. And they're more sophisticated at brainwashing. But they don't do one thing that the right-wing media does. Right-wing media attacks logic itself. That's why to them, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I think they're patriots and Antifa, so what? But that makes no logical sense. I don't care. It's stunning. They're like, we don't care about logic. It doesn't have to be reasonable. So let me give you the exact numbers here. It's a CBS News YouGov poll, and I got I switched to two of the categories. So let me explain. 47% of Republicans said what happened at the Capitol on January 6th was patriotism. 47% of Republicans. The 56% number that I quoted for you guys was that's the number of Republicans who thought that the people on January 6th were just defending freedom. They were attacking the center of democracy to defend freedom. A majority of Republicans believe, because it doesn't have to make sense. They just have to hear it from Tucker Carlson or Donald Trump, and they will instantly believe it. But yes, 41% of Republicans believe that it was left-leaning groups who did January 6th. So I would ask that 41%, who also probably a giant section of whom also called them patriots. Wait, were the left-leaning groups the patriots defending freedom on January 6th? No, it doesn't matter. Logic is for nerds. We just have feelings, lots and lots of feelings, and largely hate and fear. But apparently Trump can't even get them to muster that up at a rally. So he's now canceling January 6th. Or maybe he was worried too many Antifa was going to show up.
Well, we do have a story about that specifically. It's important to actually hear from Trump supporters themselves, and we do have some great video to share with you on that very topic. But first, we're going to take a brief break. When we come back, we've got that story and more. And by the way, I don't typically promote the post game as much as I should, or the bonus episode as much as I should. Today, I'm gonna do it. The post game today for our members is gonna be fantastic. We're gonna talk about cats who are starting so many fires in places like South Korea that people have been warned about it. And I will compare cats to my dog, Charlie, with fun videos. So you should be a member. We're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, but look, keep
not
it
a
real.
long time, but a good time.
Yes, but we're gonna dunk on Jimmy Dore so hard, and it's gonna be hilarious.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, not like, oh, God, no one thinks, it's not a debate anymore, trust me. It's clownorama, but it's gonna be absolutely hilarious. So tyt.com/join or hit the join button below on YouTube. We'll see you in a second. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.